three things I worried about the moment I got ill. One was obviously, was I going to get better? Was I going to die? That's the most immediate thought. The second one was, how was I going to explain this to my son? And then your mind starts to go to, well, if the worst does happen, or even the semi-worst, I just not well enough to work, what will that mean to us financially? I'm a working mum, so I'm a busy exec. I mainly run big projects in companies and run the big project teams that run around, setting up new changes to a company, basically. We were, busy family, busy working during the week, Pete at school, and then the weekends would be packed full of, getting Pete to his swimming lessons and his football lessons and, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it was just normal, hectic family life. I'd just gone down to Melbourne for a business trip for 2 or 3 days, and I found the lump myself, and I went, I'm not sure that's right. And so as soon as I got back, I went to the doctor. And then everything happens incredibly fast at that particular stage. They, send you off for tests, and they sort of start to hint at bad things that might occur, and and it's within a week you've got breast cancer, and your whole world just falls in on you. I mean, it was just the most extraordinary experience. Everything that you felt that you could rely on in the past doesn't seem to be there anymore. I took a 6-week period off work. The main thing I felt was just exhausted, just so tired during that chemo period. Over that year, somewhere between 8 to 10 weeks off. The other days were sort of scattered during the year. I was with a big corporate, and I go, God, if I'd been with a smaller company, would they have been able to absorb the time that I took off and manage the things around me that needed to be managed. Work colleagues, fantastic. I couldn't have asked for more at the end of the day. The one person was my husband. I mean, I always knew he'd be there, and you hope you're never going to have to test your relationship to that extent. But obviously, I had circumstances which did, and he was just fantastic, marvellous. I've got a little boy who's 8. I wrote a children's book for him. I sat up many a night sort of thinking, how am I going to explain this to him? Complex things were going to happen to Mummy, he was going to need to understand it. You can't hide this stuff from, somebody that's in the house with you as you're going through it. I'm ashamed to say that really all I'd taken care of was what automatically came with my super. So I hadn't got any sort of extended life insurance. I certainly hadn't thought about income protection to any great degree. So I literally had whatever you get, with your super. We did have health insurance, so that obviously helped out. We were so busy, I just hadn't sat down with a financial planner for a while and gone, right, We'd done it with my husband. I don't know whether it's that psychological thing where you go, well, hubby's covered, so nothing's going to happen to me, But interestingly enough, both my husband and I earn the same amount, so it was by no means him being the major wage earner at the end of the day. The expenses that hit were the ones that I wasn't expecting. Like, I'd take the bus to work, and I was just so tired some days I would just have to climb in a cab to get home. And, that mounts up when you take several cabs a week. So that was an expense I hadn't seen coming. And then just all the additional stuff. I mean, even now, 3 years later, I'm still on medication, and that costs money. And so it comes from all angles. I think if I had had insurance, it would have been one big worry less. It probably would have aided my recovery, in terms of just being able to relax and sort my life out and get things together in my head in the right way. It was a pressure not having it, definitely. I think if I had my time over, I would have paid more attention. I would have thought more about what could happen in life, and had I got it covered. You just rush at life sometimes so fast, and you prioritise the wrong things, I think I would have taken more time to think through our financial circumstances and plan those really. talk about life insurance, but to plan everything financially and really think things through, and make sure we were set up to win as a family, whatever happened to us, because you just don't know what's around the next corner. You just don't know what's going to happen, and when it's going to happen. You can't prepare for those sort of things.